is going on, you lovely people? Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are doing good. It's your boy Rover Queen. Welcome to another edition of No Politics, Just Comics, where I invite you all to just sit back, relax, try to unwind from all the bullshit, politics shit that's going on, and yeah, just chill, just chill. It's just gonna be me tonight. Steph is feeling like shit. AJ is traveling, and Quentin is off doing birthday shit. Happy birthday to Quentin, by the way. So it's just gonna be me tonight. Gonna try to keep the energy as lively as it would be if I had the other fellas here with me. But I've been running this goddamn channel for myself, or by myself, for a while now, so I could definitely hold it down. But yeah, sending nothing but blessings and love to those brothers. And next week, hopefully they'll be back to join us. But before we jump right in, we're gonna start off with a little bit of a drinky drink. We're not going too hard tonight, because I did have a little birthday celebration thing that I want to, so I'm still kind of recovering from that. But there's some good news and some news that will affect the channel. So first off, got me a new job. So officially as of yesterday. So yeah, moving on to bigger and better things. Pay is great. And yeah, I'm excited for what I can do with this gig. But yeah, we got some people up in the chat. We got Tevia. No, it's not my birthday. I just went out and celebrated somebody else's birthday, but it's not my birthday. But the drink is for the new job though, 100%. Yeah. So yeah, cheers to that. So yeah, not gonna go into details about what the job is, but they're telling me the hours should be the same as what I used to do before. So if there is a little bit of a lull with the content, and I hope there won't be, but things happen, that's probably why, because I'm just gonna get accumulated to the new, well, somewhat similar schedule, but it depends on what they have me doing, where they're gonna have me bouncing around to. So that's just a little bit of a heads up. So that's why if you guys see me just doing more live streams versus just like putting out videos, that's why, because I'm transitioning and things are a little bit chaotic. So it's easier for me to jump on here, do live streams, and then I could chop up the live streams and just put out videos that way. But yeah, I'm excited. Got my boy Kenny here, one of the reasons why I got the new job. Also, Kenny got a new job too, y'all. So y'all say congratulations to him. Not just congratulations to me, congratulations to Kenny as well. So salute to the both of us. Kenny, we are going to meet up very soon to properly celebrate. But yes, please, whoever is in the chat, please send your congratulations to Kenny as well as myself. But yeah, I'll keep you guys updated if things get a little bit too crazy and the content isn't flowing as much. But I'm doing my best to be here at least a couple times a week, if not two. I try to get at least 2 pieces of content out for y'all. So I have a video and then I have the live streams. But yeah, so that's just a little bit of an update. But yep. We are, I didn't even take a damn sip yet. So cheers. Oh, this is some damn good wine. I just went and picked this up. Some Sauvignon Blanc. I like the bottle, so I just got it. It was $10 too. But yeah, with that out the way, if you are a first-time viewer of the channel and you happen to enjoy the content, this is what we tend to do every single week. Go ahead, give me a subscribe, hit that like, all that good stuff. We are so close to 1K. We are at 945. So again, if you're enjoying what you see over here, come on, man. Let's get to 1K before my birthday in June. That's my official birthday. It's in June. All right. But you guys didn't come here for all that. You guys came here so we can talk some comics. But before we talk comics, we got to get something out the way. So it pains me it does pain me to bring up this topic, but we're going to bring it up anyways. So I want to start off by saying rest in peace to Michelle Trachtenberg. I believe that's how you say it. So I don't know if I said it before, but I'm a big Gossip Girl fan. The OG Gossip Girl series. I just finished rewatching that shit. It's aged like fine wine, and her character Georgina was one of my favorites. Whenever Georgina came into the picture, you know shit was going down. She did an amazing job, and also I just recently started watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and man, I'm glad I waited. I am so glad I waited to watch Buffy, because man, that show's amazing. I read the comics beforehand, the Boom comics, but I decided to watch the TV show finally, and she played Buffy's sister. I forgot her name. It was like Faith or Hope. I forget the name. It's been a couple months, but yeah, she did amazing on that as well. When she first got on, I was like, yo, what the fuck they doing? Who's this character? I was so used to the original cast. But she grew on me, and I think her introduction season was my favorite. It was my favorite season of Buffy so far. I have a couple more seasons to go, but yeah, she died 39 years old. Apparently there was some complications after surgery she had, but yeah, 39 is too young. 39 is too young. She still had a bunch of life to live, and I'm sending condolences, to the diehard fans, her friends, her family, and yeah, gone, but definitely not forgotten. So yeah, I think this happened on Wednesday, and yeah, that shit rocked me to the core. Again, especially because of the fact that she's so young, so much more life to live. So this is to you, Miss Michelle Trachtenberg. Gone, but not forgotten. All right. So yeah, if you guys haven't seen Gossip Girl, watch Gossip Girl. All right, I'm telling you as a man to watch Gossip Girl, not the remake, not the bullshit remake, the OG remake. You will fall in love with her character, and I'm hoping a lot of you guys have seen Buffy the Vampire Slayer, so go check out Buffy the Vampire Slayer as well. So rest in peace, and yeah, we're still thinking about you. All right. But now with that out the way, this is why I don't like doing full screen on Google. Give me 1 second just to make sure we can get out of full screen on Google Chrome. Oh, come on. New tab. Give me 1 second, y'all. Apologies. Google Chrome is not letting me get off of the full screen, so we're gonna try a little something. Hiccups, they happen. I also didn't feel like downloading all these images and making graphics for everything tonight because I'm freaking tired. But we are gonna try and get this out the way. Can I exit full screen, please? My gosh. And I exit full screen. Google is not letting me exit full screen. Let's try this. Exit full screen. Boom. We got it. All right. Damn browser. You're right, Tevia. So damn browser. But yeah, so moving on up. That's the last time I'm going to do the full browser, by the way. Tried it once, not doing it again. Let's talk about some more exciting news. So this news dropped last week. I missed it because I was busy, but yo, we have a new creative team for Batman. So I want to say about a month or two ago, me, Elvis, Steph, Quentin, and maybe there's one other person, we were throwing around a bunch of ideas on who the next writer for Batman would be. And it looks like we missed the mark because none of us threw Matt Fraction's name in the mix. So, none of us threw Matt Fraction's name in the mix. So, Matt Fraction and Jorge Jimenez are going to be the new creative team on Batman starting in September. So, when I first heard this news, I was excited. I have personal history with Matt Fraction. Matt Fraction's X-Men Dark Avengers Utopia was the first comic book that I ever bought as a grown up, and it's the first comic book event that I checked out, and it's still one of my favorites. I read it recently; it holds up well. But I haven't really checked out much Matt Fraction stuff after that. That's not on purpose. That's just the way life was. I don't think he did much of the DC stuff, any of the DC stuff when I started getting into comics, or any much of Marvel stuff either. I think he did that Hawkeye joint that I read one issue of, but I never followed up with. But to see him come back, he's a pretty big name. See him come back on Batman, that's really dope. That's really cool. And Jorge Jimenez at this point, he's just a mainstay. Jorge Jimenez on Batman is just like peanut butter and jelly. It fucking works. So initially, I was like, yeah, woo, yeah, I was to the fucking moon. To the fucking moon. But then I remembered the other times where I got excited about a new creative team on Batman, only for it to go to shit about a year or so later. So I am cautiously excited for Matt Fraction on Batman. So we don't really have too much details on what this run is going to be like. But what I'm hoping for, it's something that is engaging. It's something that's fresh. It's something that's new. And it's something that hopefully is consistent, because over the past couple of years, we all get excited about a new creative team on Batman, and it just doesn't work out. And 9 out of 10 times, it's because of some editorial mingling, and then we just stop giving a shit after a while. So I'm going to check it out. I'm going to be fair and give this, a good couple issues. But I'm also ready to jump ship the moment I see some fuckery abound. At this point, that's the relationship I have with Batman. For me, Detective Comics right now is still the superior book. Say what you want about Tom Taylor. I've been reading Detective Comics with him on it, and these last couple of issues have been pretty good. It's nothing stellar. It's nothing amazing. It's nothing like Ram V's, but it's a good, solid detective story, and I think Detective is always the more consistent book. I feel like with Batman, they put on these big creatives, and I feel like the big creatives, they want to do something. They want to say something with Batman, but somewhere down the line, editorial comes in. It's like, oh, wait, no, you can't do this. You can't do that. And then it ends up being some watered down nonsense. And, I'm not going to say it's shit, but it just ends up being some mid. Whereas Detective, they let creatives cook a little bit more. But I kind of understand why DC treats the main Batman book the way it is. There's a lot of IP around Batman. They got movies, they got merchandise. They're very protective of their baby, which is Batman. But with that said, you being too protective of Batman is why people just stop giving a shit about the main book after a while. So I personally want to live in a world where this Matt Fraction run is good. I could also read Detective Comics from Tom Taylor, and I can also read the other Batman books and, still feel, that connective tissue, but I'm feeling like also, hey, all these books are of quality. Because I am reading the current Batgirl series, the Cassandra Cain one, and if I'm doing rankings right now, for me, it's Detective Comics, then it's the current Batgirl series, and then, the main Batman book, which I'm not even reading right now. So I'm going to keep an open mind. We'll see what happens. But let me answer some of y'all's questions here, or some of y'all's statements. So you said, I'm curious on how Matt Fraction Batman is going to turn out. Yeah, like I said, we got to wait and see. Matt Fraction's a big name. Matt Fraction is very seasoned. So I'm hoping it's something, street level. I'm hoping, it's something cool, and I'm hoping it's something exciting, man. So I haven't touched much of Matt Fraction stuff in a while. So if they're putting him on Batman, I can only assume. I could only assume it's gonna be something good, and I hope they let him cook. Um, oh, yeah, you said you hope shame they aren't protective of the other characters like Superman and yeah, we're not gonna do the whole DH thing again, but I agree with you. I agree with you. If only DC was more protective of the other characters like they are Batman. But yeah, so we'll see here. But I said all that. I said all that. About me being skeptical, but we actually let me backtrack a little bit. Let me backtrack a little bit, because I do want to put a button on my thoughts on Chip Zdarsky's Batman run, and we will get to Chip Zdarsky later. So, Chip Zdarsky's Batman is over, and I know me and AJ had spoke about our thoughts on the run, and per usual, I was excited at first, but then once Gotham War came around, they lost me. I think I unsubscribed right after Gotham War. So I was like, you know what? Let me just let him do his thing. And apparently the book didn't get that much better. It's very hit or miss, according to what I'm hearing in the streets. But he said a whole lot of nothing on that book. A whole lot of nothing. I still think that Chip Zdarsky run, it's not going to read well in trade or omnibus, whatever the fuck they decide to do. Because there's no narrative there. There's just no narrative in that run at all. You can't follow it as a through line because you have events and then you have all this other random shit that got thrown in. So you kind of have to, if I had to judge this and not to judge Tom Taylor's Nightwing run, which also recently ended, I think the Nightwing run would be a better read than Chip Zdarsky's, because it seems like Chip was just there to hold people over until they got the next writer, which is which is Matt Fraction. So no disrespect to Chip, best of luck. We'll talk about him on Captain America later. But yeah, I'm ready for something new, and I hope and I pray this is something new and something new that can stick and, really get us excited again. Because, I always say on here, but the last consistent Batman book was Tom King's run. Love it or hate it. Love it or hate it. I know there was some issues with that as well, but still, it's a run that you can read front to back despite its issues, and you get a story. You get a beginning, you get a middle, and whether or not you like the end or not, there is an end, and it flows. Ever since then, I'm sorry, DC has just been all over the fucking place with Batman. Detective, like I said, they cooking over there. But, circle back. I said all of this about my skepticism about Batman to say this. There are some updates that we got from the Comics Pro panel that's giving me a little bit of hope. A little bit of hope. So, this is more regarding Hush 2, but the Hush 2 stuff will tie back into the main line. So, what exactly am I talking about? So, Jim Lee and Jeff Loeb, they were on a panel, I think it was about a week or two ago, and they had a lot of interesting things to say about Hush 2. Now, before I begin, I did not read the first Hush. I have it here. I bought it for myself, the compact edition, on Christmas. So before, I don't know, if I get to it before Hush 2 comes out, that's a fucking miracle because I have so much shit to read. But yeah, I didn't read the original Hush, but we do got some updates on what is going to be happening with Hush. So these are the cliff notes from Bleeding Cool. So shout out to Rich for getting all of this together, so I don't have to go fucking hunt for it. So as we know, Hush 2 is gonna be split in two. So we're gonna have that take over the last couple issues of the main Batman run, and then we're gonna get the restart of the Batman book with Matt Fraction and Jorge Jimenez, and then the continuation of Hush 2 will continue in its own separate book. So I don't know if that was common knowledge, but you know, if you're just finding that out, you're finding that out now. So, first off here, Hush isn't just gonna be some. I thought it was just gonna be some a random Hush 2 storyline just to take over Batman and hold people over until Matt Fraction, but no, there's gonna be implications later down the line. So Jim Lee and Jeff Loeb, they did work with Chip Zdarsky and whoever else was on Detective, so you know things can line up. You know, they changed the art to make sure that things did line up with, you know, current continuity, and hopefully this goddamn webpage doesn't freak out because it seems like I'm frozen, but I'm gonna let it be frozen for a little bit in the hopes that it comes back. So let me give it one more second because I don't want to restart this goddamn stream from the beginning. And I don't know why this is acting up. But in the case that it does come back up. Whoops. All right. We are back. Can y'all see me? Can y'all hear me fine? I apologize. But I'm gonna just go ahead and cut off the video, and that should be good. But yeah, so like I said before, so it is gonna line up with main continuity. So like I said before, Chip and Jorge Jimenez, you know, they're the ones that's been holding down the ship. And I'm pretty sure there's been other previous writers that they checked in with to make sure that the book stays in line with main continuity. So, you know, Hush 2 matters. I didn't think it would matter, but it does matter. And also, there's going to be something major that happens in Hush 2 that's going to affect the main Batman book, and it's going to affect the rest of the Batman family books. So I'm assuming that goes for Nightwing as well. I'm assuming that's going to be the case for Cassandra Cain's Batgirl series, because apparently that is now an ongoing. It's probably going to affect Detective and if there are any other Batman books that are coming down the pipeline. So that's cool, especially with the fact that all of these ties to continuity is something that came out of the Bat Summits. So the Bat Summits are back, y'all. So if y'all don't know what the Bat Summits are, it's I think it's a once a year meeting with all the Batman writers and the editors, and they sit down, they talk about their stories, and they see where they could coordinate, and they make sure that everything lines up. So we haven't heard much about the Bat Summit since I think COVID. I think COVID was the last time we heard about the Bat Summits, or before COVID. So it's not too hard to see that they haven't had the Bat Summits, because for the most part, you know, Detective has been doing its own thing. The main Batman book has been doing its own thing, and all the other Batman books have been doing their own thing. There hasn't been much cross pollination, so it's good to see that they're making an effort, you know, to connect things back together. And I remember when I first got into comic books, back when, you know, I didn't really know much about the comic book industry, I did like the feeling of that connectiveness. You know, you can tell, even without knowing there was a Bat Summit, that, oh, they're in talks with each other. You know what I'm saying? the Bat writers are talking to each other. So I would be reading Batman, and there would be some threads from Detective, or if you're reading Detective, you would see some threads from Batman or all the other books. So that was gone for a little bit. So the fact that that's coming back, I'm excited. I'm really happy that's a thing. And some more updates about Hush 2. This one's more exciting for me, actually. So apparently Jason Todd is going to play a big role in this. So again, I didn't read Hush 2, the first Hush, so this is a bit of a spoiler for me, but apparently this is the book where we figured out that Jason Todd was coming back to life the first time around. So he's going to be playing a bigger role here in this one. And that gets me excited because I am a big fan of Jason Todd. This is a character that no matter what, I'm always going to follow because his story is interesting. And I think there's a lot of untapped potential there. So I was hoping we would get more of that with, everything that happened with him recently. He had the whole thing where he changed his costume, and then Chip had some time with him, and then Sean Martin, just did the run with him. And I thought they would do something with that and, really get the ball going. But unfortunately, things just kind of fizzled out. So I'm hoping his bigger role in the series, hopefully that is the launch point for a new Jason Todd series, or just for him to have a bigger role in the Bat family, because I like him. He is a cool character, and I want to see more of him instead of him just like kind of popping up here and there and just getting little things. So that's really exciting. And other than that, there was some other cool things that they mentioned, but it's not worth mentioning. Actually, no, there is one more thing. Jeff Loeb is intending to make this like a gateway drug for readers. So this is important for me because, like I said, I didn't read the first Hush. So the fact that they're making it so that somebody who didn't read the first Hush could get into this, that's cool. The fact that I don't have to be bogged down with like previous years of continuity, even though I know a fair amount, that's good. So one of the reasons why I wasn't going to pick this up to begin with is because it's like, oh shit, damn, I don't know everything about the first Hush. I know the Hush character, but damn, why would I read Hush 2 if I don't know Hush 1? So I guess I don't really need to know much. So I'm more inclined to buy this Hush stuff now. Will I don't know. Probably I'll buy it digitally, but I probably won't buy like the physical copies, just because I'm trying to do my best to like cut down, the amount of books that I have. But this is a book I will be keeping tabs on. It will be paying close attention to, especially now that I know that this is going to have later ramifications for, the Batman line moving on. So if I'm playing a guessing game, what I think is going to happen is the first half of Hush is going to lead into Matt Fraction's Batman, and there we're going to get that connective tissue, and then everything else is going to happen outside in the Hush 2 book, and some way, somehow, it'll trickle back down to Matt Fraction's and the other books as well. But we'll see. So I'm excited because this makes me want to check out this book. But, Kenny said, Jason Todd, coolest Robin there is, changed my mind. I can't change your mind. I think he also is the coolest Robin. He just has that grit to him. No matter what's happened with him, he always keeps that grit. And I think he's the more interesting Robin out of all of them, minus Nightwing. But yeah, Tevye said, what about Tim Drake? I liked Tim Drake. I think Tim Drake was cool. I paid more attention to him when it came to, James Tynion and Detective Comics. But after that, just fizzled out. But I'm assuming he's gonna play a role in this as well, just as much as the other Bat family members. So hopefully this leads to a resurgence to him as well. Because Tim Drake needs that love, y'all. He needs that love. It's bad. It's looking bad for Tim Drake right now. But we'll see. We'll see. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited. I'm more excited to see what's gonna happen, with the other characters such as, Cassandra Cain. Like I said, I've become more of a fan of her. I'm excited to see what's gonna happen with Damien too. I'm also excited to see what's gonna happen with Barbara. So I did see some teaser panels of things that's gonna be happening. I saw Barbara in one of the panels, so let's see how she plays into things. But overall, I'm here for this. I'm here for this. So if this leads to the Batman books being better, more connected, and hopefully of better quality and more consistency, fuck it, DC, take my money. But until then, I'm still gonna be a little skeptical. But I'm gonna keep close tabs on all of this. Teffy said Tim Drake is the best Robin in my opinion. You know what? That's not the first time I heard that. So again, I hope this does a good job for Tim Drake and everybody else as well. So we'll see. We will see. So a couple other updates that we did get. These I'm a little bit more excited about. We got Mr. Terrific Year 1, which is coming. So that's going to be written by Al Leston. So this is a fairly new writer to me. I don't know who this is. But yeah. So apparently they debuted in the DC New Talent Showcase. And the artist is going to be Valentine de Landro. So they did Black Manta. And they did the DC Power books. Apparently they did something for Infinite Frontier and something called Bitch Planet. So I'm excited, man. I don't have too much history with Mr. Terrific. If I see Mr. Terrific, it's more like in an ensemble book like a Justice League, or if he's doing other things in other books. But the fact that he's getting his own solo series, I'm here for it. I like when black characters get their shine. And yeah, this looks like this is going to be something that kind of highlights who he is. And I think because it has the all-in special, it's going to rope back into everything that's going on, because he is pretty integral in what's happening in the all-in stuff. So he's been keeping tabs on the Absolute Universe. Recently we saw him in Superman. Like we said before, he's going to be in Justice League. So I'm happy that Mr. Terrific is getting his credit. And I did see some talk about, how come, once he's not getting a ongoing versus a miniseries. Honestly, I ain't gonna hold y'all. My thoughts on that whole thing, it's changed as of lately. Would it be dope to see DC Comics give, black characters ongoings? Sure, but at this point, if you just give me a good beginning, middle, and end of a story, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'd rather one and done stories that are of quality, that you can follow front to back, and that adds to the character's legacy, versus giving them an ongoing, and later on down the line, people stop giving a shit, and then the book gets canceled, and then the narrative of the books is all thrown off because the writer had to rush or do some shit because the sales weren't good. I'm over it at this point. So if the sales are good and people want to support it, by all means, hey, if it gets extended, it gets extended. But again, the fact that DC is still giving black characters more books in general, I'm not gonna complain. I'm not gonna complain at all, especially if it's of quality. So listen, if you give a shit about Mr. Terrific, and you want to support a black character, by all means, go ahead, do your thing. And if DC sees that, hey, this is picking up traction, If they decide to extend it, cool. If they don't, they don't. Whatever. As long as y'all keep investing in black characters, to me, this counts as investing in black characters. Go ahead. Please, go ahead. I'm happy with my Green Lantern War Journal. I'm happy with my Steelworks. I'm happy with my Black Lightning, even though I have my issues with it. And I'm happy with my Cyborgs. You know, just keep giving us black heroes. Keep giving us black stories. And it is what it is at this point. This is just such a tired conversation. And I said it before, and I'll say it again. Whether your favorite character or a character of your preferred demographic or your demographic gets an ongoing or a mini, it doesn't make them more or less valid. All right? They have a book. Their legacies is being contributed to, and I think that's all that matters. All right? Especially if it's good. So I'm going to be picking this up. Picking up all 6 issues. I got to put my pre-order in. So, let me know your thoughts down below about Mr. Terrific. Are you excited? Do you not give a shit? Are you one of those people that are, up in arms because it doesn't have an ongoing or whatever have you? Let me know, man. Let me know. Kenny said, we need some Bang Babies. Man, check out the Milestone stuff. Milestone just wrapped up their what's that shit called? The Shadow. It's literally in my bag. But Milestone just had a miniseries that ended. Why? No. See, now I'm gonna feel like a dickhead for not getting the name because I literally just finished reading it. The Shadow Cabinet. So if you're one of those people that's been paying attention to the Milestone stuff, please go check out The Shadow Cabinet by Joseph Illich, I believe. Super cool dude. We follow each other on Twitter. He put a nice button on the Milestone universe. Shadow Cabinet, yeah. So he put a nice button on the Milestone universe stuff. And I just finished it. It's really good. I wish it could be longer, but I felt away because for the longest time, it felt like DC kind of forgot about the Milestone universe. But no, he was able to wrap everything up the best way he could. And if we don't get any other Milestone stuff outside of that, that's fine. But what after reading that story, I want to go back and reread the recent Milestone stuff. And I'm going to end it all with Shadow Cabinet, and I think it's going to make for one nice cohesive story because it brings in Static, it brings in Hardware, it brings in Icon and Rocket, all those recent series, and yeah, it's a solid ending. So you want Bang Babies? Cool. You want, black characters or, black creatives, to be, highlighted, and, you want a proper closure to that story, go check out Shadow Cabinet. All right. Series just ended last week, I believe. So if there's a trade coming out, go pick it up. If not, go find the floppies. And yeah, this was one of my favorite books of, the last year. And it's arguably one of my favorite black books, in the last year. But I'll get more into my feelings on, DC and Black History Month, and Marvel and Black History Month, because I have thoughts. But the thoughts I have warrant another video. I'll save that for a separate video. I don't want to take up, the stream time, to tackle that. But yeah, please go check out Mr. Terrific Year One, especially if you've been interested in what Mr. Terrific has been doing in the All-In universe, and if you're just interested in him as a character, period. So moving on, we have some other news, and this one, I'm hit or miss on it. I'll be honest with you. So I believe when I was on the stream with Steph, who's in the chat, by the way, I hope you feel better, brother. When I was on stream with Steph about a couple weeks ago, I did talk about wanting a new Supergirl series. I said I would have preferred Mariko Tamaki to be on the book because I think she has a good voice for Supergirl. But I also said the Supergirl story she was telling in action was a little weird. I still have to go back and finish it. But it wasn't the best, but maybe it'll read better in trade. But yeah, I would have preferred Mariko Tamaki on this, but we are getting somebody new instead, and it is a new ongoing series, and it's going to be written by Sophie Campbell. Now, I don't know who Sophie Campbell is. I don't have any experience with Sophie Campbell. Apparently, they did Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and something called Wet Moon. So, I don't know. I'm not a big Turtles fan. Not that I hate the Turtles. I just never got into them. And like I said, I don't know who Sophie Campbell is. But the way this announcement came, it gives off DC saying, "Here, nigga, damn." That's what it speaks. That's what it's given to me. It's like DC was like, "Damn, here, y'all been asking for a Supergirl series. Here, nigga, damn, take it. Just take something." I feel like if this was something that they were really excited for, I would have seen more buzz about this. I feel like we would have gotten like a press release like they've been doing, for a couple of the other books. Let me see. I could be wrong. Maybe there was a press release for this. No, there's no press. I'm so sorry. There was a press release. There was a press release. My fault. My bad. I'm okay with admitting when I'm wrong. Okay, so there was a press release for this. I just happened to miss it due to me being just busy in the last week. So there was a press release, which is cool. But even so, I don't know. I don't know who this creative is. Apparently, maybe they did some good stuff on TMNT. But for me, the art doesn't scream, it doesn't scream, read me. It doesn't scream, you should read this. It screams, I don't know, this don't give off Kara to me. I don't feel Kara here. I don't feel Supergirl. This feels more like, I don't get excited looking at this. And also the solicit doesn't make me want to go and pick this up. I could be wrong, and this could be a banger, but I feel like you should have came harder. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know there's some other, there's some other covers that came out. There's an Art Germ one, but I don't know. I'm not feeling the suit. I'm not feeling the premise of it. I don't know. Just something about this it's not making me want to read it, but I'm gonna give it a go anyways. But I don't know why did I put that one back in here? Yeah, I'm gonna give it a go anyways. But I don't know about this one, y'all. I could be wrong, and it could be a banger, but we should have came harder. And also, I'll say it. I'm a big fan of the recent, Superman family jackets and all. The new suits, they look good. They look ballin'. It's dope. I feel like this is a little bit of a regression. But again, I'm gonna be fair. I'll check it out. And hopefully this is something that puts Supergirl back on the map, because it's been a while since we've seen her in her own ongoing series. So we'll see about this one. But let me know what y'all guys think. Are y'all excited about this? Do y'all know Sophie Campbell? Like, can somebody in the chat tell me? It's like, yeah, we should check out for this one. Let me know. But I was more excited for the Mr. Terrific shit and the Batman stuff over this. This was the announcement I was least excited for. But who knows? This could end up being a sleeper hit, but the art, I think this is Sophie Campbell's art. This doesn't scream, let me go pick this up on the first day it comes out. So we'll see. I'll gladly come back and review this one. I'll come back and review this one. But next up, this is a topic I've been excited about. I've been excited to get to, because I have a lot of interesting thoughts about this. So, onto the Marvel side, Chip Zdarsky and Valerio Schiti are going to be on Captain America. Now, I'm going to try my best to watch my words here. So, if this was a couple years ago, I would be excited for this. But I'm not. One, Chip's recent work from both Marvel and DC, minus Avengers, he did an Avengers book not too long ago, but minus that recent Avengers book, it doesn't excite me. Like I said before, his Daredevil, the last bit of his Daredevil, it wasn't hitting for me. I still think he should have ended the run with Devil's Reign. And like I said before, on Batman, after the failsafe arc, and even throughout the failsafe stuff, he wasn't hitting for me. I think, I don't want to say he's a shell of his former self, but just maybe the stuff that he's been doing, it's been meddled with so much, whatever have you, but I'm not excited for this, right? Because this is the second, not only do I feel a way about Chip's recent work, but this is the third Captain America relaunch in what feels like a short time. So the last time I was excited about Captain America in mainline and modern time was when the Hive Mind was doing Captain America. So they were, So Hive Mind, So the Hive Mind was doing the Captain America, and I think they were coordinating with the other Captain America writer. I forgot his name. It was the Sam Wilson book. So they had both of those running concurrently together, and that was good. I think I read the first arc of that, and I was like, yo, whatever the Hive Mind got cooking, especially with the Sam Wilson stuff on the side, I need more of that. I need that shit in my veins. Only to find out that their run ended prematurely. So I think it ended with an event that took place between both the books. But when that book ended, the way that they described it, it seemed as if they had more in the tank. And, because the sales weren't as good as what Marvel expected, they kind of snatched it from underneath them. And I wasn't pleased. I was not pleased at all. Because I really felt that they had a story to tell. If I'm not mistaken, too, they're still continuing certain threads from that run in some of the Thunderbolt stuff that they're doing. But still, I think that's the last time I cared about Captain America. So this is the third relaunch, and we're starting again with Captain America. Doing some stuff in the past. And yes, it's going to trickle down into, modern times or, current continuity. But we just did a flashback story with JMS's Captain America, which also started off hot and then fizzled out. And then Marvel decided to cut the run short. So how many issues is this going to last? How many issues is this going to last? So as we know, comics, they start off hot and they taper off. Something that started off in the top 20 percentile, it may just stay in the 20 percentile, or it just fizzles out and it hovers in the 50s, the hundreds, and it, depending on the book, it stays there. And a lot of the times the book could be good, but it is what it is. So I'm very skeptical about this. I'm very skeptical because I don't want to get excited for another Captain America book, have it be good, and if it starts to taper off and it's not consistently a top 50 book, and then Marvel just goes and fucking snatches the shit out of the creative's hands. And it seems like it doesn't matter who the creative is. Because if they can do that to the Hive Mind, and they could do that to fucking JMS, what's fucking stopping them from doing it to Chip Zdarsky? Alright? Not every single comic is Batman. Not every single comic is Justice League. You know? Some comics, they could still be good, but where they stand on a month to month is where they stand, and that's fucking fine. So I don't know if I'm gonna check this out. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't know if I'm gonna check this out. If I hear good things, I'll check it out. But I think with Captain America, I've seen them relaunch that shit so much. It's like, alright, whatever. Good luck, I guess. So let me know what you guys think. Am I tripping about my thoughts about Captain America? If I am, let me know. Do y'all think it's gonna last long? Do y'all think it's gonna last more than 20 issues? Let me know down below in the comments. But we do have a comment here. Thank you, Diego. He says, "Yo, you only discuss comics live. This is cool." Yeah. I try to do this every single week, and I also do it in other videos throughout the week as well. But yeah, thank you. I appreciate the support. And yeah, this is what we do week to week. So yeah. Thank you for the support, and yes, hopefully you stick around. But yeah, so again, y'all, I don't know about this one, but I did enjoy that recent Avengers book that he did. That was one of my favorite books of last year, and I think I need to go back and reread it again. I just need to find the floppies again, but fuck yeah. But I'll give this a go. I'll give this a go. So, this topic is also interesting to me as well. And I hate being right. I hate being right. I'm going to start off with this. I really hate being right. So, I talked about this on the timeline. A lot of other people, especially AJ, has talked about this as well. Not on here, so this is like my first time. So, I liked the Krakoa era. All right, I liked the Krakoa era. That was my first real time jumping into X-Men. All right, Hickman had a wonderful premise, and this was the most I've seen excitement for X-Men ever since I've been reading comic books. I was reading damn near all the books. Actually, not all the books. That's a lie. I was reading the main X-Men book. I was reading X-Force. I was reading Wolverine. And I think those were the three. And then we all know what happened. Hickman ended up leaving the book. Marvel still kept the train going with X-Men, but you can tell there was a shift in quality. But still, there was a lot of interest. You know, X-Men was always buzzing in the streets regardless. To my understanding, Kieran Gillen wrote his fucking ass off with X-Men Red. Ben Percy was still pretty consistent with Wolverine and X-Force, so those lasted pretty long. And I think I jumped right back in with Dark X-Men. I forgot who wrote that, but I think that was the only modern post-Hickman X-Men book that I was reading. But, you know, overall, the consensus was that this was a good era for the X-Men. This was an era that, you know, really pushed the X-Men line and the X-Men name forward. So I didn't read the end of Krakoa. Maybe one day I will. But again, if y'all in the comments, if y'all want to correct me, because again, I didn't read the last bit of Krakoa era. It seemed like, you know, the ending of the Krakoa era was a little bit rushed. It wasn't, it seemed, from what I heard, the ending didn't do justice to the era that happened. And a lot of that, again, to a lot of our suspicion, is due to the fact that, they were getting ready to revamp again from the Ashes era. So the moment I found out we were gonna go from, Krakoa immediately to From the Ashes, I was skeptical. Why? Because here's my thoughts. Whenever you have a big change that happens to whether it's a team or whether it's a character or even a run, when you have a big run or a big status quo shift or just something major that happens and it lasts for a while, my personal opinion is that once that era or that run ends, you need to let people sit with that. You need to let people digest that. And, you need to spend some time going back to the drawing board because, whatever you do after that, it's always going to be held in comparison to what came before. Always, 9 out of 10 times, it's unfair, but it's always going to be held to what came before. When we got the From the Ashes news, I could just tell they didn't let shit cook. They just said, you know what? We need to move on to the next thing. The X-Men are about to be introduced into the MCU. And, we need to keep this train going. And I think that was a mistake. Now, I like Jed McKay. Do I think he was possibly the best choice, to do X-Men? I don't think so. But I could be wrong. I've heard decent things about the book. Gail Simone, another seasoned writer. I read a couple of things from her. But do I think, she was the best choice to do Uncanny, bringing that back right away? I don't know. I don't think so. I think Marvel, they just said, you know what? Who's safe? Who's safe on X-Men right now? Well, who's a safe creative? And they just put them on these books. And right after that, they started announcing a slew of other ancillary X-Men titles, which I think was a mistake as well. So you had NYX, you had X Factor, and you had X-Force, right? So I think, well, if Marvel was going to relaunch the X-Men line right away, fine. Stick with X-Men. Stick with Uncanny. Let that cook for a little bit. Maybe then you introduce, the NYX team, you introduce X-Force and see how people receive that. Instead of just throwing it out there all at once. And if people enjoyed it, or if people liked the concept, cool. Maybe 6 months or so, or maybe a year down the line, you launch NYX with Hive Mind. And then you do X-Force with Jeffrey Thorne. But, like I just said, they threw everything at us at once. So they got the 2 books, and then next thing you know is NYX, X Factor, X-Force, Wolverine. And I think it was too much for people. I think people would have preferred, to start small and then you gradually build. But I think Marvel just threw too much at people right off the bat, right when Krakoa ended. So here we are, and NYX canceled. X-Force canceled. I even forgot X Factor was a book. That's probably on its way out as well. Exceptional X-Men by Eve Ewing, I forget that's a book as well, but I wouldn't be surprised if that gets canned. We have Wolverine by Saladin Ahmed. I've been hearing so things about that. That probably might go too. I think the only other books besides X-Men that seem to be getting some type of consistent buzz is Storm. Phoenix is okay from what I hear. And I feel like I might be forgetting something, but I don't know, outside of those, feel like the interest in X-Men is kind of ugh. And I think we're here because instead of just like letting the X-Men fizzle out, just die down a little bit, they decided to just go and rush again into things. So now, here we are. And, you know, the line is cut. The line is cut. So, NYX out. X-Force out. X-Factor, I think it's out. I think the only books with staying power after this was probably going to be Storm. Maybe Phoenix. And I don't know about Wolverine, but I think that might go. I think that might go too. Because, again, there was a lot of pretty big names on these books, and they just replaced them with people who are safe or, you know, people who don't have too much buzz behind them. So, you know, yeah, people would go check out Gail Simone. People would go check out Jed McKay. But, you know, how many people are rushing to go read X-Force? Especially right after the previous one just ended. I think NYX is... I think that's a legacy book. You know, no disrespect to Hive Mind, but I don't know how many people were going to rush to that right after Krakoa just ended. And how many people were going to rush to X-Factor. X-Factor didn't even last long the first time. And I heard, and I fuck it. Sentinels was a book too, I'm just remembering. So it's like, I don't know. Like, what are we doing here? So, an Exceptional, you know, I haven't read it, but, you know, e-viewing, love or hate, you know, a lot of these names, the point I'm trying to make is they don't drive you to go pick up the books, at least not in an ongoing sense. So I think maybe the safer bet would have just been to launch everything as a miniseries, probably a year or two after, you know, X-Men and Uncanny. But here we are. You know, Marvel doesn't learn their lesson. They don't learn lessons with Marvel. You know, Marvel just thinks let's keep the show going. Because another example of this is fucking Daredevil. Chip Zdarsky, even though I don't like the later half of his run, he still was probably one of the most impactful Daredevil writers ever. And then you go follow that up immediately with Saladin Ahmed. Like, you should have let Daredevil rest for a little bit. Should have let that fizzle out. And then you bring another big name writer, or you try to drum up interest, you know, in a different book for Daredevil, and then you have him launch again. But I get it. Like I said, it always goes back to what the what the TV shows and the movies are doing. So, we got Daredevil Born Again coming, right? I wouldn't be surprised if we're getting another Daredevil book right after Saladin Ahmed's run is over, which seems to be nearing the end, and that even lasts fucking 25 issues. You know, we should have let this stuff cook instead of just throwing out another wave of books after Krakoa. So, I honestly don't know. You know, but good luck to the creatives. I wouldn't be surprised if Marvel does the usual and they try to reboot these books again under a different name with the same creative teams, only to end up with the same result, because that's what they did with the Krakoa era. There were certain books didn't sell well the first time, relaunch, different name, book fizzles out after a couple of issues. So I don't know. I say all that to say this, and I mean this in the most respectful way as possible. This is what you call a waste of resources. This is what you call a waste of resources. All right? You didn't have to waste Hive Mind didn't have to waste their time, you know, doing an NYX book. You know, they could have been doing something else. You know what I'm saying? Whoever was doing X Factor could have been doing something else, or Jeffrey Thorne could have been doing something else. You know, because why are we just throwing out books that we know are not going to last long, especially in an ongoing sense? So what? Are people gonna go and check out this NYX book now that it's all done? I don't know. The answer is probably gonna be no. Are people gonna check out X Factor now that it's done? I don't think so. Are people gonna check out this X-Force run now that it's done? I can't. I don't think so. So we could have let this cook a little longer. We could have let this cook. Tevia, you said some good things here. It seems to me Marvel just gave up on X-Men. I don't want to say give up. Give up is strong. So I'm taking another sip. Give up is strong. The problem is that Marvel, they don't know how to let things just simmer down, right? So we don't know when the X-Men are officially coming to the MCU. We're getting teases here and there, but we don't know, right? My personal opinion, I think we're not going to see a proper X-Men in the MCU for another year or two. That's enough time for Marvel to just let the X-Men breathe. I'm not saying they can't be around. That's not what I'm saying. The X-Men, they don't have to just be obsolete. But you can keep them somewhere. You can do something with them. I don't know. Like maybe they pop up in the Avengers or something. You know, maybe they're off doing some other things in other books. Keep them around. But they don't need to be plastered all over the place. Right? Then when you get the MCU proper X-Men, right? So by that time, a good 2 or 3 years would have passed by since Krakoa. Hopefully then you would have had a good concept, a good creative team, a good premise. And then you relaunch and you hit the ground running. So then you got people excited for the MCU. Then you got people excited also for the X-Men books. That's how I would have done it. Well, that's how they should have done it. I can play Monday Night Quarterback. That's what I do on here. I think that would have been a smarter choice. But when you have big changes and big runs, it's not good to keep like trying to keep the train going. It's okay to let shit die, y'all. It's okay to let shit die. And you said, yeah, the original XYX wasn't good either. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't hear too much about it. But yeah, so that's personally what I would have done. But you know, best of luck to all the creatives here. You know, they're all talented in their own right. But I don't know what this means for the future of these characters or the future of these titles. But I get it. Movie, TV show, synergy. So it is what it is at this point. It is what it is at this point. So let me know what you guys think, honestly. Like, did y'all read NYX? Did y'all read X Factor? Did y'all read X-Force? Like, did y'all think it was good? I don't know. Even personally for me, I saw all these and I was like, I'm good. I'm alright. But I could be wrong. There could be fans. If you read it, let me know down below. But what are your thoughts on it being canceled? Or what are the thoughts on these books being canceled or potentially canceled? You know? So if you liked them, let me know. If you didn't, let me know as well. And what do you think about the future of X-Men? You know, what do you think? What do you think Marvel could do to revitalize interest in X-Men? All right. So let me know down below in the comments. And Tevia said, shame the Amazing Spider-Man book is still screwed because that book is still garbage. As for NYX, I tried that book. It was so boring in my opinion. Yeah, that's what I heard as well. And speaking of which, we could focus I could talk a little bit about Kamala Khan. I could talk about Kamala Khan. So I've been paying attention to all the recent controversy surrounding her. They killed her off. And a book that wasn't hers brought her back to the X-Men. You know, they brought her to this team. And only for this book not to last long. So what was the point? What was the point? Why did y'all do that to this character? Why'd you do that to that girl? Why you? I sound like a Haitian man. Why you do that to that character? Why? Right? All of that noise, all that hoo-ha, just for the book that she was in, that you put her in, to get canceled. Why? So I know the Hive Mind. They're thinking about. Well, excuse me. They're gonna bring her back in giant size X-Men, but still, why? Why? Like, I think she's probably one of the biggest casualties of this whole entire thing. Because I was there. Like, I saw the timeline when they announced she was getting killed off. And then when she did get killed off. And then how they resurrected her. And then how they just slaughtered her. Like, what was the point? All for it to end up like this. So, again, man, like, I get, this is all fiction at the end of the day. But, we care about these characters. We care about their legacies, and, we would like to see them treated with respect. We would like to see these teams treated with respect. And with that said, it's okay for these characters not to be around for a while. It's all right. There's nothing wrong with that. You can let things fizzle out. But let me know what you guys think once again. Yeah, man, this is just a damn shame. This is a damn shame. I got a comment here that says that it felt like Marvel wasted a lot of people's time with Kamala Khan. Miss Marvel and killing her off in that terrible Amazing Spider-Man book was it was bad. It was bad. So again, I think this is a conversation I would further. I kind of want to deep dive into that, especially with the fellas on the stream, because I think Marvel editorial in general, they don't get the point. Marvel editorial is very out of touch. They're very out of touch, and I think a lot of that has to do with their editor-in-chief. And I think they can take some notes from DC. I'm not saying DC is perfect, but the way they go about things, it's a little better, DC, there's certain books they'll automatically give an ongoing to, but they'll test the waters first with the miniseries for some titles. They'll test the waters, and if people like it, they'll keep going. And if people don't like it, then it's at least the shit has a one and done story, beginning, middle, and end. But Marvel, they just say, hey, let's keep going. Let's get as many books out as possible, and they don't give a fuck about the quality. They don't give a fuck about how it can greater affect the Marvel. They just don't care. They just want books out there. And I don't know, that's how you fuck up the game. But it's a shame, man. It's a shame. Like, there's a lot of books out there that don't need to be out there. Like Marvel, yeah, they may have, a good chunk of the market share, but how much of that is of quality? How much of that is books that you actually give a shit about? So, and that goes back to Daredevil, as well. That goes back to Captain America as well. Like, how many times are you gonna keep relaunching books, especially books that don't need to be relaunched or books that can fizzle out? But let me know. But yeah, y'all, I appreciate y'all. I have a little bit of time left. But yeah, before I go, if y'all have any other questions or want to hear my thoughts on anything else, let me know in the chat. But I ain't gonna hold y'all. I am kind of hungry, so I'm kind of happy. This isn't gonna be too long of a stream. I kind of want to go, munch on a little something, make me something to eat. But yeah, y'all. You know what? Fuck it. I think I might just end here. Then I'll holler at y'all later at some point this week. But yeah, y'all. Thank you guys. This is a short episode this week. Listen, it's been crazy for me, but I appreciate y'all very much for checking out the content. If you're somebody who just so happened to, pop in, for the first time and you enjoy it, please be sure to check in. I promise next week I'll be around a little longer, but I am freaking hungry. And I am tired. I am running on fumes. It's been a long day and a long week, especially with all the changes. But again, y'all, I do want to say this too. I do want to put this up on the screen. Thank you guys. Thank you for the love that you guys have been showing the channel. Thank you guys for all the love that you guys have been showing. You know, the recent videos that I put up, especially the ultimate countdown stuff. So please go check out the Ultimate Countdown podcast. We are getting together again to record a slew of new content for you all. So again, please go check that out. And yeah, we are so close to 1K. We are at 945. So again, if you want to help a brother out, go check out my old content and check out the new content that is on the way, and you know, be sure to engage with it. But y'all, I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna get up out of here. It's your boy Role of a Queen. Much love, much peace.